I think we could all acknowledge in general, if you were to meet doctors, lawyers, in general, they're an affluent bunch.
Completely.
So and I really want to unpack this because I think the examples really make you think about it. It made me think about it a lot. So you've got a doctor here. Let's pretend he's a surgeon. All right. He has to work. He has to go do surgery to make the thing happen, to get paid. He gets really paid well for that though. If he takes his capital and instead of trying to deploy it in software companies, knife twist, he takes it and he goes, I'm going to buy potentially a property or invest that into something that compounds. In the same time frame as your investment versus this one, a few years down the road, his net wealth and potentially cash flow and things that the person who's trying to get that from leverage would have got has achieved in a different way. So what's this person done is they've gone, I'm taking my active income that doesn't have leverage or compounding, I'm leveraging using debt, and I'm using compounding over here, and I've actually created a better overall business model and vehicle because I've combined the worlds of business and wealth.
Totally. Just like Transformers, when they all combined into that big...
Was that Transformers?
No, that's Power Rangers.
Don't
judge me, Charlie.
That was Captain Planet, right? Now that your powers are combined, I'm Captain Planet. Like, was that our childhood?
This is why you do the analogies, not me.
If anyone could please let us know, do the Transformers ever actually come together? I feel like they did.
I swear they do. I swear there was an episode where they came together. But this was the point. This is you've hit this point. It was the Power Rangers. No, the actual point that I was going to say is it's the flywheel, right? It is everything together. It is not things in isolation, right? Like if you put a little bit of money in a bank account or in like one investment and go, I'm done, this is going to be me forever, the compounding might not get you to where you want. It's the flywheel of doing the thing, which is why business owners have such a good advantage in this, right? And doctors and surgeons and all that can be incorporated into what I'm saying on business owners, is because they can do the thing in their business whether it's via leverage or not leverage, and invest that into something that is compounding, whether they use leverage for debt or to go and sort of exacerbate it and grow a bit more, and then just continually do that flywheel. And that is like the greatest concept of, what do they call it? Dollar cost averaging in the share market, right? It's like, how do I take this money and just continually stoke that fire until it's at a point where I need it to be or I want it to be in order for me to achieve whatever goal I'm looking for. And so it's actually, and I loved what you said, it's the combination of them, the Power Rangers, if you will, of them, where you've got your leverage and your compound, and you go, well, how do I bring these together? And you have leverage in your business and you have leverage in your investments. You have you can have compounding in your business and you can have compounding in your investments. So it's not them in isolation. It's like, how do you bring them together and strategically play that game for one sort of greater outcome?
Yeah, so I really want to unpack some things that, again, if you take it back to my obsession, right, I'm looking at this and going, well, in the agency model, I could have been overall more profitable if I was willing to do some things in the accounts. Yep. My unwillingness to do that created a lower margin. So the one that stands out to me today, and this is the one I see more dominantly, is you've got, I'm going to say like the education space. So these are people that are consultants or do masterminds or have courses, and I'm going to lump them all into one bucket for this analogy here, noting they're very, very different, and we may unpack them a little bit more. If you're currently a consultant and you do one-on-one work, so we'll keep it in the same realm, you teach people how to run an agency.
Yep.
Right, because we're talking about the difference between doing and now teaching it. You might sell your one-on-one time for a really good rate. And you might be sitting there going, I've got to turn this into a one-to-many program. I've now got to turn this into a course. I've got to make a book. And it's like you start coming up with all these ideas of how you can create leverage, but there is going to be, and you may still pursue those, but you may be completely ignoring the idea that you may be better off just taking that good income you've got and moving it like a doctor or a lawyer.
Totally. And this comes back to, continue through.
Right. So why do people, in general, someone who's doing one-on-one will hit a ceiling on their income and then go, all right, well, I'm only capable, there's only so many hours in the week. This is all the teaching I can do. I need to swap to one-to-many or I need to make a course. Yep. Now, if let's say that person, I'm going to use a really easy example here. Let's say they're making 20 grand a month doing one-on-one and they live on 10. I'm just using round numbers, easy numbers for this. If you're able to take that 10 and get it compounding, right, that compound rate's going to be significant. If you swapped to suddenly doing books, so you dropped down your consulting and you said, look, I'm making these books, it's better leverage, but all of a sudden you're only making 15 a month. So now you're taking that 5 and you're contributing in there. You've just halved the rate of compounding on the other side here. Yep. Now, why is someone looking to make these changes is to overall make more money. Like people are trying to deploy more leverage to make more money, but completely not recognizing that you may be able to grow your wealth far faster and achieve something more there, potentially, not financial advice, in the housing side of things or on the in the investment side of things, versus get that return in your business.
Yeah. And it is such an interesting concept because we see this a lot in the business owners that we coach and talk to, where they just play this never-ending game of leverage without, and I'm going to stack one more thing on top of it, without actually realizing that the set of skills to write a book, market a book, sell a book, and scale the book is fundamentally different from being the consultant or the thing, right? Like,
wait, we got to stay there. How many people do you know that have made a course thinking it was better leverage, only to realize that marketing that course is really hard and difficult and challenging, and they end up just spending all that time on marketing it?
Dude, totally. Yes, I spoke to a guy yesterday around agency and courses around, and he's just like, cool, I've worked with an agency owner and I want to build courses and start selling the courses because I think that's going to be a better leverage. And I'm like, it's a fundamentally different business. I'm like, they're not one and the same. But it comes back to your point around, well, if you're consulting to people or running an agency, it's like, well, what is, and I'm going to do a shout out to James Ramco on this one. Like, what's your effective hourly rate? Like, what are you, for the hours you're putting in, how much money are you actually making back, right? Because to your point, if you're making 20 grand with a net of $10,000 on consulting, and then you to go and put all this time and effort into researching door to book and selling it for $10, $20, whatever, and then building a fund for it, selling it, doing all those kind of things, at some period of time, at what point do you stop and look back and go, was that a better use of my time? And this is what I had on the capital that I deployed into the software company, of going, wait a second, there's actually a better use for my capital for me than putting it more into the business. Because I'm like, at what point do I sit there and analyze and say, well, what the hell do I have in my inventory that's just compounding for me outside of like a business, which I would argue is not just a compounder?
Hey, fellow business owner, if this topic and value-packed short video has resonated with you at all, and you want to dive deeper into being a full stack business owner, check out the full episode by clicking the link on your screen or in the description right now.